Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video, and today we have more RPG goodness. Today we're talking Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. We have a GM screen, we have a map, we have two maps. We have Deadlands Noir, Cemetery/Crypt map, and we also have a Deadlands Noir. There's a hotel in here, and also there is a warehouse. So we're going to do an quick unboxing today of all three of these items. Again, you need a copy of the core rulebook for Savage Worlds Adventure Edition to enjoy these products. So again, we have a GM screen. So let's take a look in the back. It says Pine Box Middle School Game Master screen, including 2 terrifying adventures by Tracy Sizemore and Ed Widerman. The cost of this was $19.99, and I picked this up. Again, it's brought to you by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. I picked this up at when I happened to be in New York City and went to the Complete Strategist. It's a has-to stop every time I go into the city. It's the best gaming store by far there, and I've been going there for like the past 30 years. So I love that store 125%. Again, that's called the Complete Strategist, and it's located in New York City. Again, let's get back to this. So we got Pine Box Middle School Game Master screen, including 2 terrifying adventures by Tracy Sizemore and Ed Widerman, used for the Savage Worlds role-playing game Adventure Edition. This was released in 2023. For more information, go to pinnacle.com. So let's crack this bad boy open and see what kind of goodness we have on the inside. And Game Master screens are always important to have. Basically, if you're a GM, it gives you a lot of information right at your fingertips, which is something that you always need. So let's put that to the side. Let's take a look at this real quick first. So again, we've got our credits, our syllabus. Again, for more information, go to peginc.com for more information and all information regarding Savage Worlds. Or you can go to 12tomidnight.com as well. So you have the Curse of Wilson Quarry, Origin of a Curse. Gives you all kinds of background information on the different scenarios that they're giving here. Fear of Falling. So it's several days of adventure that you're going to be bringing your characters on, which I don't want to ruin it. Then we have a couple other things back here. Then we have Confronting Tyronos, Aftermath, Failure, and different things you have going on here. Again, I do not want to do this. Then we have your second adventure, Dark Rites of the Yellow Woman, which is gives you more information about that adventure that you're going to go on. Again, I don't want to ruin this adventure for anyone who happens to play the game, but it gives you all the information you would need to GM through this 2-module campaign right here. Gives you the non-player characters, gives you the creatures, gives you all information you need to run this little campaign you have here. The little yellow rite of imprisonment, people and creatures that you're going to fight, and all that information on here. In the back here, it also gives you the information about the Yellow Woman, the venomous snake that you're going to be fighting, and all the other things you're going to have. So those are your 2 adventures that you're going to get inside your Pine Box Middle School Game Master screen. And again, it's the Curse of the Wilson Quarry, and the other one is the Dark Rites of the Yellow Woman. Those are the 2 adventures that you're going to get along with your GM screen. Let's take a look at this GM screen. Really cool artwork, and when you open that up, really gives you the flavor of what the adventure is going to be all about. Pine Box, Texas Middle School. Okay, that's really, really cool. And the creature itself. But again, this is information that you need when you're playing all of your Savage Worlds games. Again, you have your combat options and situational rules. So starting over here, you're going to aim, area of effect, bond and entangle, breaking free, breaking things, cold shots, cover, defending, desperate attack, distracted, the drop. You're going to try to evade, extreme range, fatigue, finishing move, free attacks, ganging up, grappling, hold, illumination, innocent bystanders. You have mounted combat, multi-actions, natural weapons, non-lethal damage, offhand attack, prone, push, range, range attacks and melee, readying weapons, recoil, reload, shields, different shotguns, skies and scale, speed, stun, support, suppressive fire, surprise, test, touch attack, 2 weapons, unstable platform, vulnerable, wild attack, withdrawing from combat. Then you of course have your damage table, your injury table, your fear table. Again, on that, it tells you right up at the top, you're going to be rolling a d20. For your damage, you're going to be rolling there. You're going to be doing a d10. Injury table, again, it's 2d6 for wounds. So then you also have your fear table. So if you rolled a d20, you got a 16, 17, it would be panic. Hero moves full pace plus running die away from danger and is shaken. So you got, again, 1 to 20, 22 plus. So if you get any, so your character has any modifications that allow them to roll higher than a 20, but you're rolling a d20 there and adding any mods that you might have. Okay, and again, you have the positive reaction table. You're rolling a d10 on that one there. You have negative reaction table, which is a d10 there. You have your advances. You have milestones, end of first semester, end of 6th grade, end of 7th grade, end of semester, all that stuff in the 8th grade too. Then you have your anti-tech table, which is right there, 1 to 6. And that's everything you have in your, on your charts here. See, let's take a look at the injury chart real quick. Injury table. Unmentionables, arm, your guts, your leg, your head. So you're rolling 2d6. Hit, a grievous injury to the head, roll 1d6. You have a hideous scar, you're blinded, or you have brain damage. Major head trauma, marks reduce 1 die type, minimum of d4. So there you have it. There's your charts, everything that you need. Again, when you're playing a game, you would put this up like this way. You would be rolling your die behind here. So if I'm the GM, I have this turned this way to me. I'm rolling my dice back here. I'm doing everything I got to do to keep it secret from the other players who are playing in the game. So that's very important to have. And of course, you also get your 2 adventures with that. Again, your 2 adventures again were The Curse of Wilson Quarry, and the other one was Dark Rites of the Yellow Woman, which is very, very cool to use that for your Savage Worlds adventures. So that's one thing. We're going to put that to the side for a second because we're going to need some space to open up our maps. So this one did not have when I purchased it, it did not have a flap attached to it. So they gave me a nice discount on it because it was an open package already. But when I opened it, I said, you know what? This is really, really cool because I needed a factory and I needed a cool hotel that my characters could go to in our Deadlands adventure. So, or you can use this for any type of adventure that you like. Again, anytime you get a map like this, which is a dry erase map, you're going to have to crack that map so that lays flat every time you use it. You're going to use this here. Again, you have to crack the map. If you don't crack it, it will not lay flat when you use it. There you go, laying your. So we have the entrance to our actual hotel. So there's your hotel right there, the whole hotel. But I will show it to you in the folds first, like I normally do. Again, it has the covering on it. So again, it's a little dinged up on the top part here where it was stored because again, the top part was ripped off. So I did get a nice discount on that. I think I got 25% off, which was really, really nice of them to do that. But the map is still glorious and beautiful on the inside. So there you go. So continue to move forward. That's the bottom section of the hotel. And then we go to the second part of the hotel, which is the middle area. Again, they're 1-inch squares. 1 inch equals 5 feet. Very, very cool. Very, very nice map. Then move ahead again. So areas outside the hotel and inside the hotel. So when you look outside the hotel, so you got some grass here. You got some bushes around, trees, different stuff. So that's very, very cool. So I'll lay it flat again so you can see all of it. See the complete map. What I love about the dry erase maps, of course, you make markings on it. You can. Wet little paper comes right off there. Permanent ink, I never use permanent ink on there, and there's your center point of the map right there. I never use permanent mark on whether it be Pinnacle maps or use the Paizo maps or anything of that nature. I never do. They say it can erase off, but I never use it. Again, this is we're moving to the top of the map now. And it's a beautiful, beautiful map. The colors really, really pop on it. Really, really, the cartography is great, really well designed. Gives you the feel of a modern hotel. It really does. Which is really cool. Use your center point again. Again, if I was using the map, and I want to throw a couple figures on the map, which I can do right here. Again, I want to throw them in there. Just give you a couple ideas what the map looks like with different size, different scales. Put a regular pawn down here. Of course, our butler's at the door saying, serve a meal here. It makes to keep things tidy. I can use a standee as well. Put a couple standees out there. Put this guy out here as well. So again, why am I showing you the figures? Well, and the figures are not included with the purchase of this product. The reason I'm showing the figures is just to give you an idea of how it looks with the map. So again, if you have this character here who's attacking, you have a pawn here. You can have all different kinds of figures that you can use for a mat of this type. So again, I have a Dungeons & Dragons figure here. I have a regular pawn from a regular game. I have a standee. You have a 3D figure here as well. Zombicide, a Starfinder, and then of course back here you have an ogre of some type that was just found by me. Again, just to give you an idea of what the characters would look like on the map itself again. But if you don't have a pawn from a board game, you don't have any Starfinder figures, you don't have any Dungeons & Dragons figures, you don't have pawns from Pathfinder, you don't have a butler, you don't have this guy here, you don't have any Zombicide games. Again, with the wet dry erase markers, you just mark in where an X for good guys, an O for bad guys, put them where they were, and then draw arrows as to where the combat is taking place. When you're done, wet a little piece of paper tissue, wipe it, it comes right off. No problems whatsoever. So let's take a look on the flip side of the map. So that is your modern hotel. Then you have your warehouse, which I actually, of all the maps I have, I didn't have one of a huge warehouse. So this really intrigued me to get one of these. So I'm just going to start from the bottom here, as we always do. Just to show you what this looks like. Lots of crates and barrels, which is really cool. Got your doorway entrances here, where a truck can pull right in here. Sliding door goes up. Pick up some. Again, if you're talking about Deadlands Noir, you're talking about maybe you have some guys who are bootleggers, whatever. Again, this is more inside the factory itself. Got some offices, got some bathrooms. Got some places to stay for the drivers. Then on this side here, got some more bathrooms. We got a bar in the front of the warehouse. So there you have that. to take a gander going this way, do a little bit of movement. Again, moving the map around a bit. Again, this is really, really cool for a warehouse. I didn't own a warehouse. That's why as soon as I saw it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick this up. This is something I'm definitely gonna use. There's an entrance right there. Looks like that may be the main entrance right there. So we're gonna stop here for a minute. That's the main entrance. Now again, just put a couple of your figures out here just for demonstration purposes only. Again, some guys who are hiding out. Guys are coming in. On the fight. Guys are trying to do this, whatever. Again, put your pawns there. Again, why am I showing it? Again, these figures are not included with the purchase of this map. But the reality is I'm just showing to you how they would look if you had it set up and you're actually playing a game during the during your role-playing session, and you were using some pawns, or you're using some standees, or you're using Dungeons & Dragons miniatures, whatever you may have at your disposal. But again, if you don't have a game piece from a regular board game, if you don't play Zombicide, if you don't have any Dungeons & Dragons figures, you don't have any Starfinder figures, you don't have a Happy Butler, you don't have any Pathfinder standees, and you don't have any metal miniatures. Again, put your X's and O's where your characters are. This way, when the fighting begins, you draw some arrows, show where they're moving to, however you want to do it. And then again, when you're done using wet dry erase markers, you wet that paper towel, you rub it a little bit, and it comes right off. No problems whatsoever. Again, the figures and the standees were for demonstration purposes only. So again, we fly this side of the warehouse. And there's a lot of really cool rooms in here. I'm really digging this one here. Another entrance here. Another entrance over here as well. Some side entrances. Another entrance here. Different ways to get into the building. Again, if your truck, you pull the truck in right there. Back up. Starts filling up the supplies right there. And back down to the bottom part right there. So again, this is another Savage Worlds map. This side was a warehouse, and the other side was a modern hotel. So that was really cool. And I'm going to show you one other thing for this unboxing. We have one final map, which says Deadlands Noir. Cemetery Crypt contains one double-sided erasable gridded poster map for Deadlands Noir, or any role-playing or miniatures game that you might have. See if it says anything interesting on the back. Gives you a picture of what's on there. All right. Again, retail price was $14.99. Again, brought to you by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. So let's crack this open. These are nice and easy. Tape up there. Just pull it out like so. Again, like we always say, you gotta crack the mat. Have to crack the mat. Every time you get one out that comes out of a container, you have to crack it, because this is the only way that they will be straight when you use it for the first time on the table. So again, we're talking about a cemetery and the crypt. So one side is going to be the cemetery. So let's take a look at the cemetery first. So we're looking at this side here. You got your cemetery right there. Very, very cool. We're now in late August, so when October comes rolling around, we're doing some role-playing games. We're doing a miniature agnostic games. Now we got the whole Halloween vibe that we need, which is the cemetery or the crypt, which is always very, very important to have when playing scary games. There's your center point right there. And then we're going to flip it over this way. Again, you have your different headstones, the coffins, and all that stuff there. So again, really, really, really cool map. So we'll start down here and work our way around. Again, finding the marker, finding the right grave, finding something in your adventure. Again, the map is made for the Deadlands game, but if you don't play Deadlands game, as they say it right on the sales point here, it said that it's for any miniature agnostic, any type of game that you want to use it for, whether it be for Savage Worlds or use it for Deadlands or any other role-playing game that you want. Again, once you purchase a map, it's yours to own and you can do what you want with it. So again, gives you a lot of room. Great thing, again, it's got that 1-inch square there. The great thing about the 1-inch square is that you know it's 5 feet for every move that you make. And that helps you in terms of combat, movement, and all those things that you need to know. But there you go on this side. So there's your center point. So if we're talking about our crypt right now and all that stuff like there, we're talking about our cemetery. So again, we're gonna have a fight in the cemetery. Trying to make our way through. Do a little bit of fighting here to try to keep Butler in the back, keep Alfred in the back there. Again, just showing you what it would look like if you had figures on it. Again, the figures are not included with, they're not included with the purchase of this product, but again, just to show you what the figures would look like. We have painted, unpainted, we have standees, we have regular pieces from a board game. So again, just giving you an idea of what it would look like with figures on the board. But again, if you don't have a Happy Butler, if you don't have a Dungeon Dragon miniature, you don't have a pawn from a board game, you don't have any standees from Pathfinder, or a Zombicide figure, or any Starfinder figures, or any metal figures, again, all you can do is put X's, O's as to where people are standing, draw lines of attack, you have your combat, and there it is. Draw a line saying when they're moving. You can use different colored or dry erase markers. I don't recommend that you use permanent markers, because the reality is I don't know whether it works or it doesn't work. I've never used it either for the Paizo maps, any maps that I have that are dry erased. I never use permanent marker. I only use the dry erase, and the dry erase comes right off. So with the dry erase, you put your markings in there. Again, you can use different colored markers this way. You could say who's good guys, who's bad guys, movement versus using for attacking, maybe black lines for attacking, and for maybe blue lines show that they're moving from one place to another. Green for good guys, red for bad guys, however you're going to do it. Once you're done, get a piece of tissue, wet it a little bit, wipe it down, it comes right off beautifully. And this is where we started the action at the beginning to showing the map right there. So we're going to flip this map over and move on to the next one, which is the crypt. So that was the cemetery, and now we're at the crypt. We'll start at the bottom. Lots of trees, entry points, some benches. And a great thing about these, you don't have to, but you can if you have some 3D plants and stuff like that. Throw them on the table. Now it adds just another dimension to your gaming. Again, I like the marble flooring, walking up to here. some more stuff there as well. Let me get the top again. Really, really cool. Really nicely done. Uh-oh. Something nefarious going on in there with all the blood stains and everything else. Looks like we're going to have to go investigate. And there you have it. It's a murder that took place in the crypt. Got to find out who done it. A typical noir story. Guns and girls. So there we go. Let's start from down here and we make our way around once again. That blue really, really pops on that, I gotta tell you. More inside stuff. There's your center point right there. Moving around as we do. So again, if we want to stop here for a second, put our friend inside, put a couple of baddies outside who are going to come and attack. Be defending them on the staircases. Another baddie coming in. Another guy got to defend on the staircase. So again, just giving you an example of what it looks like with a pawn, with a standee, painted figures, unpainted figures, metal figures, plastic figures. That's exactly the reason I'm showing it to you here, how it would look on one of the maps, and it looks just fantastic. Brings out the realism of the game itself. But again, if you don't have a Happy Butler, if you don't have the Happy Butler, if you don't have a Zombicide figure, painted Dungeons and Dragons figure, pawn from a board game, a standee from Pathfinder, Starfinder figure, or metal figure. Again, use your dry erase markers, put your X's and O's into place, arrows to show where they're attacking from, different colors to show movement, to show good versus evil characters, however you want to do it. And then when you're done, wet some paper towels, wet some tissues, wipe it, comes right off. So again, finishing up to the end point. Again, that's your center point where we just had the little battle. And we continue around this way. Back to the beginning where we started. So again, in this unboxing video, we showed you 2 different maps to be used with Savage Worlds games. So we have the Cemetery and Crypt map. Just gonna pop up a little bit. So that. We had the Hotel and Warehouse map as well. We also had our GM screen and our 2 additional scenarios for the Pine Box Middle School, the Game Master screen, which included 2 different scenarios. One was, again, right here, we have it in the front. One is The Case of Wilson the Quarry, and the other adventure was right there. Dark Rites of the Yellow Woman. So this is everything that's included, and this concludes our unboxing for today. And as always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you could always give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below. You could also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.